To be honest, this video will be quite dark. I just want you to pay attention to things that seem harmless and things that you don't even think about. Number 1, scratches. So, pay attention to things that seem harmless. I'll start with the most unpleasant part so that you don't eat for 2 minutes at the beginning of the video, and then you can eat. Here we go. How often, when buying potatoes, apples, and pears that are lying in an open place on the counter, in the supermarket, have you noticed such cuts, scratches in a semicircle? Have you noticed? Maybe you thought it was okay. It's like that for almost everyone, and that's okay. And so, it's a nail mark. Yes, some grandmothers in supermarkets, to check how fresh their potatoes are, simply pierce them with a fingernail or pierce them completely with a finger. For example, persimmons. Therefore, if you see such semicircular scratches on potatoes, then know that these are scratches from nails. And if you don't want to eat potatoes with dirt under your nails, it's better to carefully check or cut the potatoes well, because where there was a small scratch, then there will be a huge stain on the potatoes. Toilet paper in public places. How often have you noticed that if the roll is open, then there are some specks on it? Well, maybe red or colored. You've probably often thought that this is recycled paper, and that's why such colored particles remain on it. In fact, sometimes these are traces of how drug addicts clean needles. Why would they tear off the paper and peel it? They just wipe it on the whole roll or stick it in and pull it out anywhere. All these pictures that you see now are traces of the drug addict's blood. As it turns out, even a small particle of infected blood can infect you. Now it's more serious. How often have you seen such a harmless thing as paper with advertisements under the windshield wipers? Someone left it, right? Advertisement, nothing like that. And so, if you see something like this in your car, then it's better not to touch it. Get in the car, drive away, or throw it away at home, because it's one of the ways to kidnap people. I'll explain now. This piece of paper can be attached there in 2 terrible cases. The first is that while you are reaching out and starting to pull it out, and it will be intentionally somewhere far away, or you will need to bend over or something like that, then they will approach you from behind. Secondly, there may be some substance on this piece of paper that causes paralysis. One girl said that one day she went to her car and she had some kind of rag in the door handle. She took it with 2 fingers and just threw it away. When she went home, she began to feel strange. At first, the place where she touched the cloth began to tingle. Then maybe she touched her face, she didn't notice it, but she felt sick. As it turned out, this is one of the methods of abduction. How does it work? If a girl takes this cloth completely, turns it in her hand, then naturally touches her face without noticing it, and she will feel sick. She will be paralyzed, or perhaps she will lose consciousness. The girl stops the car, people get out because she felt sick, and she is abducted. Listen to the stories further. One man said that his daughter works the night shift. On the 3rd day, she returns with an object on the handle of the back door of the car. He cut it off once, cut it off a second time, and the 3rd time he came up and asked his daughter why she was hanging this object on the handle of her car. And she said what the object was. She had no idea what it was about. She had never even seen this. This man called his brother, who works somewhere in the investigative committee, maybe in the police. He said to cut it off immediately because it's a mark. The girl works the night shift. They hang this object on her car or in any other place so that others will know her as marked. Marked means the most vulnerable victim. Not just the car. It is hung near the door where a single girl lives or on the fence and so on. The next story. The girl leaving the store noticed that a minivan with a sliding door was parked next to her car in the parking lot. Although there were still plenty of empty spaces in the parking lot, She thought that it would be better to look stupid than to go so bold to get into her car now. Yes, maybe he got up there because there's just a shadow there, but she didn't want to take any chances. She approached the guard and asked him to take her to her car. When she and the guard went to the car and got in, the guard walked around the minivan to ask the driver something, but she didn't have time because he abruptly drove away. Isn't that weird? And now, the story that touched my friend. When I was about 12, 13 years old, I was walking down the street with my friends. It was already 10 o'clock in the evening outside because it was dark and it was summer. We said goodbye to her and went in different directions. I'm going home. The lights are on. Somewhere in the distance, people are talking. Nothing unusual. I cross the road to go down the street to my yard. The car stops. 3 doors open at once. Front, passenger only, and 2 rear. 3 guys come out. The young ones are about 25 years old. They come out abruptly and shout, "Girl, may I see you? Girl, come here." And there's a house next to me. I think I'll pretend to go home. I turn around and go to someone else's house and say, "No, I'm going home." I stop and see that there is a security code on the door. I don't know which one. I think that if they are still behind me now, then there are people living on the ground floors, and I will knock on the window so hard that if necessary, I will break it just to make someone notice it. I turn around and see them driving away abruptly. They probably believed that I was coming home. They abruptly get into the car and drive away. I turn around and just run home through the bushes. I'm running through someone else's yard in slippers, shorts, and a t-shirt. I'm running through this courtyard, and there are some other young guys drinking on the benches. And they also say, "Girl, are you running towards us?" That's all I needed. I ran home, and my mom was cooking something in the kitchen. I'm thinking right now, I wonder what they wanted from me. What did 4 men want from a 12-year-old child? At night? Why would they come out? An adult will never ask a child for directions. Then why? In any case, I have never encountered such a situation again, and it has never happened to me again. But it's better to look stupid. It's better to break someone else's window or something than to be brave and decide to talk to them. If you've had similar cases, tell us too. Do you know Mr. Beast? It is the most popular video blogger in the world. His name is Jimmy Donaldson. Why is it popular? He gives a lot of money to people. He invests in the environment. The last I heard about him, he cured thousands of people of poor eyesight. He made thousands of people sighted. He also dug thousands of wells in Africa so that people could have water. But people started talking about exposing this man. But there's really nothing on him. He's a really nice guy. He recently lost a lot of weight because he worked out every day. There's nothing on him. But he told one story on the podcast that lasted 4 hours. One story really impressed me. A blogger who has 400 million subscribers naturally has his own private investigator. And then one day, this investigator noticed from Mr. Beast that someone had paid another private investigator to find out where he was. This someone from Dubai is going to fly to North Carolina and meet you in person. We don't know why or who it is. Nothing is clear. Jimmy says he won't meet with him. I do not know what he wants from me. Meet with him yourself. The guards and the investigator meet this guy at the airport and ask him what you want. He says there's nothing like that and gives me a piece of paper. He just wanted to give Jimmy the themes he came up with for the video. They didn't believe it and said it was nonsense. Did you fly across the ocean to give me a piece of paper? Jimmy's guards didn't believe him. They searched his hotel room and found only his belongings. By the way, it's probably illegal to enter someone else's hotel room. But anyway, Jimmy told it himself. That is, the person actually arranged all this just to convey a list of his ideas. He mentioned only one of the topics, which sounded like, open a free gas station. But the most interesting thing is that Jimmy did not withdraw any of these ideas. He didn't like anything. He called all the topics stupid. And so, someone started defending Jimmy in the comments and saying that a man flew in from afar and you laughed at him. But Jimmy did the right thing. Think for yourself. What kind of normal person would do such a thing? For what? It was lucky that the guy turned out to be normal, because this should not be encouraged. If Jimmy had met him, others would have known that it was possible. So you can also come and stand at his door, but not all normal people. Not everyone has normal thoughts in their head. Imagine. According to statistics, out of 400 million people, how many people are serial killers? It could easily be 10. 10 subscribers can be serial killers. And what percentage of mentally ill people? Just because there are a huge number of subscribers, and their percentage is also huge. Jimmy said that he has been living in his studio for a long time, and it happens that he often does not leave the house, or on the contrary, he's often not at home. One day, he came out of the house, they came up to him and said, "Listen, Jimmy, there's a guy who's been camping there for a month now. He really wants to meet you." Jimmy says he doesn't want to date him because you never know who wants to shake your hand and who wants to kill you. You know that any celebrity who has a huge fan base has security for a reason. Not just to protect them. Security is also for being an asshole. Security guards should say no for a celebrity. You never know why a fan will run up to you. What does he want from you? You'll never know for sure. This story was probably the most famous investigation of 2021, Gabby Petito. If you've already heard this name, it means you've watched similar investigations on other channels. But I'll tell you why she was so famous, and maybe, even if you've watched, I'll tell you something new in this video. August 12, 2021, a call to 911. We just saw a guy hitting a girl. They got into the car and drove away. It was a white minivan. The information was received by the patrol officers, and they immediately stopped the car when they saw it driving along the highway. There was a girl and a guy sitting inside. The girl is Gabby Petito, her boyfriend, who was also Brian's future husband and fiancé. Then they see that after stopping, the girl is crying and the guy is smiling. The police took the girl to another police car. They explained that the call came this way and that. They said that a guy had hit you. Explain everything in a normal way. We're not pressuring you, just tell us what's going on. Gabby revealed that she quit her job to become a blogger and travel on her new minivan with her soon-to-be husband-boyfriend because he proposed to her. They have been traveling for 6 weeks now, but today they quarreled because Gabby has to work a lot on her blog and Brian is annoyed by this. Gabby said that Brian just grabbed her face but didn't hit her. She denied that Brian had hit her and kept repeating that she had hit him first anyway.
You said you were hitting him in the arm. Did you grab the steering wheel?
No, I didn't.
You did not touch the steering wheel?
But only for like a second, because I just saw the lights come on, and it was more just like, you're an idiot. Like, you know.
But did you grab
When Brian was questioned, he said he just wanted Gabby to calm down because she was annoying him with her phone. The police listened to both of them and decided to do so. They'll leave Gabby in the car, and Brian will be taken to the hotel. That is, for them to break up and calm down together. That's what the police decided. Then it was studied for a long time. Did she do the right thing? On August 25, Gabby spoke with her mom for the last time. She said they were going to Yellowstone Park and Teton Park. On August 27, surveillance camera spotted Brian and Gabby going to the supermarket. They walk around, pick out groceries, get back in the van and drive away. On September 1, Brian returns home to Florida alone without Gabby in her car. Gabby is nowhere to be found. On September 11, Gabby's parents declare her missing. From September 1 to September 11, Brian did nothing. They locked themselves at home, didn't give any testimony, didn't give any interviews, nothing at all. The house began to be closely monitored. So, since September 11, when Gabby's parents filed a missing persons notice, the biggest boom began. It was the biggest search for a man in America in recent times. The whole video went into TikTok. Through TikTok, there was so much more. People were plotting a route, there were so many eyewitnesses, someone was giving Brian a ride, someone saw them quarreling in a cafe. One girl told how she was in a cafe on August 27 and saw Brian quarreling with an official because he did not agree with the bill for the food. It was $60. She says he went out and back in about 4 times every 10 minutes. First, he argued with the waiter, then with the manager, then he called the director. We were already hoping when he would come out for the last time and never come back because he annoyed them so much. All this time, Gabby was crying and apologizing for his behavior. When they started looking for the girl, the parents asked people to just make sure that her face was imprinted in your memory. It was really easy because her photos were everywhere, on all social networks. Everyone has seen something somewhere. Gabby's parents have spread the message that if you were driving somewhere in the Grunty Town area on August 27th and saw a white van or something, please let us know. And one woman got it in messages. Listen, did you happen to be in this area on August 27th? A family of travelers who were in the area on August 27th saw a white van. And the most amazing thing is that the van was caught on camera, which they simply forgot to turn off. The woman immediately remembered that she had seen this van because the license plates were in Florida, and the woman herself is also from Florida. She thought, wow, how could anyone else have come this far? That's the only reason she remembered that white van. When they were driving by, they looked into this white van, but there was no one there, and they just drove on. This video of the van was viewed just under a microscope. People saw a door slamming shut when a car was passing, and even a slipper near Gabby's car. Maybe it was just a rock, but everything was considered there. On September 19th, Gabby's remains were found in the park not far from this minivan. She had a head injury and was strangled. It turned out that she had been dead for 3 to 4 weeks, which means that August 27th, the day they were in the store, was her last. If you look closely, you can see that Brian is getting out of the car, slamming the door hard, and Gabby is hugging herself. They wrote in the comments, imagine all these people who are just in the store with Gabby. You can't tell by the look of it that there are any problems, or even more so that this is the last day of this girl's life. What about Brian? On September 13, which means 6 days before the discovery of Gabby's remains, Brian went camping. He just left home to go camping alone. His parents put him on the wanted list. His parents told him which forest Brian might have gone to, and 50 police officers went there to search. They searched for him for more than a month. On October 20, his remains were also found. He shot himself in the head. The police found a note from Brian saying that he put her out of her misery and thought it was merciful. That's what it says. There's no mention of Gabby's name anywhere, just her. The case is considered closed. Brian killed Gabby. But what really happened? We'll never know because both participants are dead. Here's how this case proves that not everything you see on social media is true. What kind of videos were there? They're so wonderful, you won't say anything at all. This incident just shocked everyone. Such a search for a person. Imagine when they were looking for Gabby, they found 9 more missing people. 9! It was also said that Gabby helped other people return home. As for Brian, I think he had problems and Gabby was very unlucky to run into this particular person. She was so inspired. She wanted to travel so much. And most importantly, look at her YouTube profile header. I really find such stories instructive, really. It's useful to watch them and know that such things happen, such people happen.
The luxury Vdara Hotel was built in Las Vegas in 2009. It was built in the form of a semicircle, covered in glass and a huge swimming pool. But in the summer of 2010, something strange started happening to the visitors. It was in the pool that people seemed to be corroded by something. They were getting terrible burns. Their slippers, bags, and cups were melting. One day, in the pool, a man's head began to heat up very much, to the point where he could smell burnt hair. He immediately got up, ran out, and realized that in the 30 seconds he had been lying down, his back and legs were on fire. It's like he's been fried. He didn't understand what was going on. At first, he thought it might be a chemical burn, something dripped. Perhaps we have disrupted the ozone layer of our planet so much that now I cannot be outside at 37 degrees. But then he looked up and saw such a huge white light. It was suspiciously too bright around. It was the sun's radiation from the building. Magnifying glass effect. Engineers have built a glass building in the form of a semicircle. So they didn't take into account that at a certain time of the year and at a certain time, the sun is located so that the ray of light reaches 99 degrees. That is, if there are 37 streets, then there are 99 in this pool. People were burned by a ray of sunlight at 99 degrees. The injured man did not even want to sue. He just said that I don't need anything, just solve the problem. I don't want other people to get hurt. Do you know what the hotel has done? He put umbrellas in the places where there was a ray of light. There's still that ray of sunshine there. They're just umbrellas. If we look at the before and after photos, we can see that there weren't any umbrellas before. But now, at least they're standing. People swim in the pool, and I'm pretty sure that no one even knows how dangerous it is to be in this place. Did you think that they would demolish the building or what? Of course not. Just umbrellas.
Now a little bit about the skin. Look at this man's hand. It probably seems to you that the poor child, what kind of illness does he have? This is the hand of a grandfather who wore t-shirts for 40 years. Just t-shirts, without any protection from the sun. He lived in Hawaii, so wearing a t-shirt for 40 years is quite normal. That's what happens to the skin. This is actually the most striking example of what happens from the sun. What happens from sunburn? Look, he has a snow-white hand near his elbow, like a baby's. That's not all. If you thought it was okay to wear long-sleeve shirts, then look at this man. You see? He has a strange triangular tan. That's because he's been wearing the same shirt for 20 years. It's just that the shirt is made of different fabrics. Triangular lines are where the fabric was denser. That is, we sunbathe even through the fabric. We even tan through our clothes. Therefore, the fabric is also important. You need to protect yourself from the sun properly and even choose clothes. I hope that you have learned a lot of useful things from this video, something that needs to be looked at. I hope you enjoyed this video. Your comment helps the development of my channel. Bye everyone!